Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it's great to have you, and today I'm going to be explaining why Bitcoin is more bullish than ever. Now, 2020 has been quite the year for cryptocurrency, and especially Bitcoin. But as Bitcoin hit its new yearly high of just over $11,500, I think Bitcoin is more bullish than ever. And today I want to talk about the path of action that I think Bitcoin will take to get to some of these higher prices that we're going to see, hopefully by the end of 2020 moving into 2021. Because I think that it is setting itself up perfectly here for some higher price action and some even more momentum to come into this. So if that sounds interesting at all, guys, go ahead and stick around for the entire duration of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this. So first things first, guys, the macro. I have the macro of Bitcoin pulled up right now because we need to understand what this looks like as a whole so that we can look at these upper layers and these upper levels and understand that how we're going to get there. So what we have, of course, is us breaking this. Now, I've talked about this already. This is nothing new. The fact that we came down here, did the break, hook, and go, and actually came up and above this level of like $10,000 is very significant, because now if we go back to the daily or even on the 4-hour, let's go ahead and go over to the daily. Now I think what's very probable is that we can actually use this level as support now. So now that we've broken out of this, I think that it's very likely that we can come back down towards this like mid $10,000 area, or at least to the lower side of the 10,000s. Actually use this as support and then continue to go up. Now, what this would mean is that this would be the exact same thing that we're seeing on things like silver and Ethereum and other assets right now, where they're having break, hook, and go scenarios just happen time and time again. So I think that this is no exception to that, and I think that what we're going to do right here is that we had the break, we're going to come down for the hook on previous resistance and now turn support, and then I think we're going to go and continue towards the upside to start conquering some of these higher levels of 12,000, 13,000, and 14,000 eventually. Now, I talked about how much space this guy has to run in the previous video, I believe, but once it gets past 14,000, again, this is where things start getting a little bit more volatile and even lucrative, as Bitcoin has almost, I would say, very, very little resistance between like 14,000 and 17,000. Now, as you approach these all-time highs, you're going to have some heavy layers of resistance on Bitcoin. But the path to get there isn't just so easy as saying we have resistance here and resistance there, and if we break this, we're going to go to that. And I completely understand that. So let's go ahead and continue to look at the volume. The volume falling off a little bit, but we can kind of expect this. Again, we are past the stage of the initial breakout. The breakout volume was phenomenal, but now that we're past that, we should see this come down just a little bit, especially if we want to paint any kind of a bull flag here, which is ideally what I think we are already painting. Again, the initial wick, as we can zoom over here on this daily, came almost down to this exact point that we were talking about. So it wouldn't surprise me if we kind of just hover around this area. Maybe that's painting a pennant, maybe that's painting a bull flag of some sorts, maybe we're going to paint an ascending triangle or something along those lines. Maybe we just even come down here, touch support, and then do the whole break, hook, and go scenario, excuse me. I think that there's a lot of things that Bitcoin can do here, and I think any one of those is very, very probable. I think the likelihood of Bitcoin coming up here, hitting a new high, and then falling to new all-time lows or yearly lows is extremely unlikely. The sense that would have to make from a technical standpoint is, I would say, almost non-existent. It would be an extremely obscure behavior for any kind of chart to do that, especially something that is as large as Bitcoin. Now, if this was something that was a lower market cap or a very small a very small altcoin or a penny stock, I wouldn't put it past it. But this is something that is, almost like $250 billion at this point, if not more. I think we're back up into the 300s. This isn't something that I think is going to behave like a low market cap altcoin or a penny stock or anything like that. The way that I could see this playing out ultimately is that, again, we just continue to move and start conquering some of those higher levels, or maybe we start setting up like a rising channel of sorts or something along those lines. Maybe it looks like this. So this would probably have to be like a little bit steeper, but something to kind of like mirror this, which would mean that yes, we are looking at some of these higher high potentials on Bitcoin. Now, if we go back up here, 17K would actually make a whole lot of sense, or even this the 14K area would make a whole lot of sense as well. Anywhere, I guess, if we were to follow this parallel channel that we could be forming. Again, this isn't confirmed by any means, so we don't even have a second touch point on the top. So this is really just theorizing at this point of what I think is possible to happen over the course of like the next year or couple months on Bitcoin. So let me make that very, very transparent right now. Let's go ahead and just adjust this just like a tad so that it can be, I guess, just a little bit more accurate when we're talking about the future. But yeah, again, the 17K area would be very probable. This would mean that we could hit this anytime around like October, November, maybe even sooner than that. But I think towards the end of 2020, most bullish case scenario, I think we are hitting that 17K resistance. Again, most bullish case scenario, in my opinion, that we hit that 17K resistance level by like the fall moving into winter of this year. So again, just a possibility. I'd love to see a parallel channel like this kind of come into play. I think it would be kind of cool. It would be nice to see us trend methodically. I think that a lot of people would appreciate that. The only thing that I know that you guys are probably seeing is you guys probably don't like rising channels. I understand that, but it would be kind of nice to see the methodical nature come back into Bitcoin that we haven't seen in, I guess, a little bit. So that's where we're at right now. And if you guys are wondering where I got this parallel channel from, again, you can actually just use like a parallel channel tool or something like this. You pretty much just have to draw your support, and I'm using the actual parallel channel tool right now, but you'd have to draw something like this, and it can show you, I guess, like where resistance and support would be and how this would work. So that's the idea of where I got this parallel channel concept from. Just really, I guess, just using a parallel channel tool, since we already have 2 touch points of support, it can kind of fill in where resistance might be. So hopefully that wasn't confusing. I know I'm kind of bouncing around right now, but there is a lot to talk about, and I don't like my videos going too long. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the MACD, because I haven't talked about the indicators and oscillators in a while. I don't really think that there has been a need to, because the candle chart has just been so self-explanatory. And the last time I talked about this, again, we were talking about the like triple, if not quadruple bullish divergence that was on Bitcoin. Now, people can call this faulty. They can say it's non-existent. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this was quadruple, if not triple bullish divergence. And we saw the repercussions of what this meant. I mean, looking at the chart is self-explanatory. We saw the bullish divergence on the RSI. We saw the bullish divergence, especially on the MACD. We saw the volume squeezing, and we could tell that the price on the candle chart was squeezing towards the upside. It had a very, very clear trend reversal, in my opinion. Again, all these things were just leading towards a breakout towards the upside instead of the downside. Now, there was a lot of people saying that they thought that it was going to actually squeeze towards the downside, or that there might have been secret bearish divergence or something like that. Again, I think you can always make an argument for anything, especially in cryptocurrency. But I think that the most pieces of evidence were leading towards that this would have been a bullish breakout rather than a bearish breakout. And that's the whole reason why I leaned bullish on this guy in the first place, and that I continue to lean bullish. I think that right now the puzzle pieces are still saying this has more room to go up, and the trend is your friend. So until this tells me otherwise, or until I see something otherwise from this chart, I just see a continuation pattern on Bitcoin. I see this guy continuating. Worst case scenario, it comes back down into the 10,000s, maybe even into the 9,000s, and continues upwards from here. Not quite that parabolically, but that is my overall and general concept. Again, the volume needs to hold, support needs to hold. I would like to see some of this price action continue to hold, as well, as traders are loving this. I think almost $100 million in shorts were liquidated the other day on BitMEX alone, which is a ton of money to even think about. So as I see this moving forward, I continue to be bullish. Hopefully I don't jinx us. That would be a horrible case scenario, but no, that is my honest thoughts. So again, guys, nothing I say in this video is legal, financial, or tax advice in any way. This is simply just my opinion, and to be used for educational purposes, as I'm just explaining what I see on the chart and I guess what's going through my mind. So If you guys did like the video or have any questions, drop a comment in the comment section down below. I love talking to you guys, even if it's just something saying hi, or maybe you have an actual question. I'd love to be able to answer that for you. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video.